Huge shout out to Geno Auriemma. Coach Auriemma, the University Connecticut Huskies, is the #1 all-time leading coach in men's or women's Division I basketball history. Obviously, Coach Auriemma has had easily the greatest career from a collegiate perspective when it comes to just coaching ranks, and he ranks widely immense on this coaching totem pole. He might be top 5 coaches of all time, just on accolades alone. From a recruiting standpoint, he's gotten players like arguably some of the greatest to play: Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Brianna Stewart. And then the list continues: Nafisa Collier, Azare Stevens, Tiffany Hayes. Now we have Paige Beckers. I mean, when it comes to the University of Connecticut Huskies and their program, he's created something that probably will never be rivaled, honestly. At least not in this modern era, in the next 20 to 30, 40 years, at least, I'd say. Shout out to Coach Auriemma because he's won 11 chips. I'm going to repeat that. He's won 11 chips in the national NCAA tournament. That alone is just a feat in itself where you're like, my goodness, how dominant are you? So Coach Auriemma has had 23 Final Four appearances. Are you kidding me? That's incredible, to say the least. Take it a step further. He's won 8 National Coach of the Year awards. Like, his resume, his career will be unrivaled. I remember the times when people used to, I never did this, but people used to compare Pat Summitt and him and say who was better. And, God bless Pat Summitt's soul. Obviously she's resting in peace, but to me, it was never a question. I was always on the UConn Husky side, especially just being a huge DT fan growing up, and then obviously becoming a huge Maya Moore fan in the same process. So for me, seeing him get this type of recognition and these accolades, and where now he's on a place where he stands literally alone, shout out to Coach Auriemma because he's just been a monster in his entire career. Just on another note, he's had 6 undefeated seasons. Like, what are we talking about here? Streaks where he's won 98 straight games and 111 straight games. And what's crazy is he just set the record held by Tara Vanderveer, who just retired in April. And he's like, nah, I'm going to need that too. Like, his resume is just unprecedented. Huge shout out to Coach Auriemma. I mean, they even gave him a GOAT, which I just thought was really dope. They gave him a GOAT. And, I mean, I don't blame him. He's been there at UConn for almost 40 years, if not more, and just he's put in the work. The question now is, who do you think will surpass his legacy, if there will be a person in basketball in general? Shout out to Coach Auriemma. What are your thoughts on this?